Mr. Shelby, may I tell you something? You have a lot of
Many
enemies.
enemies. Does your ambition have no limits?
I have no limitations.
I have no limitations.
Keeping on back for the next say song. Never tell her back that I never stay from it. Sipping on facts, damn, know I got stacks in the lab. Taking bitches straight for another cat.
Welcome to Market Makers, everyone. Your home for tomorrow's TA today. This is the crypto video. The equity video went out just before this if you wish to watch it, and I'll have a special metals video out after this. Everything is timestamped below. If you want my videos throughout the week, the staff videos throughout the week, you can subscribe right there on YouTube with the join button. Get access to all of our videos, my education series, my custom indicators right there with the YouTube join button. If you guys want to trade these markets, check out Bitunix. That link is in the video description. It helps support the channel. I would appreciate it. It's a fantastic exchange. Everybody can trade there with just an email if you wish. Great exchange to be on. Let's go ahead and talk about what we got going on Bitcoin. Starting off on the top and bottom chart, what I'm paying attention to is our warning line. Once we cross the beach ball, the top historically has been in within 30 days. Right now we're at 62K. We have to cross 69K, 7K away. Plenty of time to keep grinding higher. Since my last video, we have our breakout in Bitcoin. We're going to zoom into the smaller time frame charts, but it is important to note this cycle has played out since 2013. Okay, so go back to 2021, top in within 30 days. We crossed the previous all-time high, the beach ball. Go back here, top in within 30 days in 2017, cross the beach ball. This is what you want to pay attention to. We are 7,000 points away and we are pushing higher in Bitcoin. Remember, my targets for the year, I had 132 and the blow off at 168. We're at 125, 343. We're going to zoom in and look at this. And of course, the bottoms play out the same way as well. Approximately 1 year plus or minus 4 weeks. Once we get the top, you bottom a year later. I predict 2026 is going to look like 2022. Watch my 100-year cycle video I go in detail on that as well. But that's my expectations here in the crypto space. Let's go ahead and look at total. You guys have heard me say to really get more money in crypto, to get Bitcoin to make new highs, you had to take out the 1618 at 4 trillion and took it out. You did with a nice W pattern here, just like on Bitcoin. And you're up here at 4.24 trillion. You want to see this keep going up to keep pushing prices up higher. If we look at Bitcoin on the 3-day chart, there's a couple of things to pay attention to here. We hit our 109 target 1, as you can see for the year. 109.909 within $40. It went $40 over, then dropped 32%. And of course, 132 was target number 2, and target number 3 is up there at 168. So looks like if we keep the momentum going, we're going to get to 132. Okay, and that's going to be a key level to watch, because prior when we've hit these targets based off of Fibonacci, notice the symmetry and the descents here, 33%, 32%. Now, if you guys recall, for the last several weeks prior to this retracement, I said I was looking for a shallower retracement, 15-20%. We got 14%, and we formed a beautiful W fractal here. You can even see it on a 3-day time frame. Classic W fractal breakout to the upside, and it looks like we're heading up towards 132. One thing to note on the bearish side here, you really want to pay attention to what you're doing right here. Let me get rid of this magnet. Top 1, top 2, as of right now, you still have a top 3 that's forming right here. You've done this before in these retracement levels, so just be aware of this, okay? Top 1, top 2, top 3, triple top. You have to pay attention to these levels, because what happened after this, if you don't break through this resistance and really start holding support and moving up, you can break down further. So that's just something to pay attention to. Not my base case at this juncture, but pay attention to that. I want to see us hit that 132, approximately 7K away. So let's look at this actually on what we got on the 3-day chart. Canaries not overbought in the 3-day. That's good. Look at your volume. I mean, you got volume confirmation here. Canary's not overbought. You have room to run. If we go to the daily chart, you can see this. First of all, let's just look at how all of this played out, right? So we have our move up, Where do we retrace to on this retracement? Go down to that low, June 22nd. Pull it up here, your prior all-time high prior to retracing. You fell right to the 618. Actually got below it at 107, but you fell and hit it 108. You didn't close below it. So beautiful hit right at this 618. You formed a classic W fractal. You saw this in the markets too. You formed a classic W fractal upside momentum. So we want to look at the range expansion here as well. Range expansion, fractal high, retracement low. 129, 157, 135, 115. Let's go ahead and define the range we want to look at here. Previous all-time high. Use a bit of a tighter range here. You can do this, or you can put this down here at 107, but I want to look at it like this. So we have our range, and again, this is what I was talking about off the 3-day chart, right? Just watch this area because you've gotten above this level and then sold back off in the past. It's important, I think, to hold some support levels higher up. So if Bitcoin, let me look at the indicators. Bitcoin, Canary, you're overbought. You got nice volume momentum. You took out that midline. You see this? Volume momentum. You still have to take out that high over there. You have some nice momentum here, but you're still momentum divergent this whole way down. Now, I mean, this can correct as it goes up, but you're still divergent on momentum. So if Bitcoin does a cooling off period or needs to start chopping, right? Remember, there's two ways you can retrace. When you go up, you can retrace down and start forming a trading range, and you can get bullish patterns like higher lows and break out to the upside, or you can retrace by going up, coming down, making a bearish pattern, and then you actually retrace. So when you're looking at Bitcoin on top of this trading range, be aware that 129, that's the next key target there. But if you fall short of that, it's important to start holding some of these higher levels, right? Hold these higher lows to go up. You don't want to re-enter the trading range and fall back down. So I'd really be looking at that 120 level. You're at 125. Really want to see Bitcoin stay above that 120. Coil if it needs to, right? May not need to. Maybe it just does that. But I think you need a catalyst here. You're getting overbought in the daily, getting overbought in the smaller time frames, and you just took out your previous all-time highs here in sequence. You just want to watch and make sure this doesn't put some type of triple top in, which forms some type of bearish pattern to come back down, okay? And if you come back down, hold 120 and definitely hold 118, which is that midpoint here in the W. Those are two key levels to hold to go back up to the upside. So just be watching this. This is a daily time frame, so you only have 2 candles above your previous all-time high. Let's look at this on the 4-hour, 3-hour, actually, see if we see anything else. You're just looking at it. You made your new all-time high today, above the trading range. So, I mean, everything's bullish, right? Let's look at the indicators on a 3-hour. Again, you hit overbought. You're trying to cool back off. Look at the volume here. Still good volume. Momentum, still bullish, but obviously across bearishly. It's a small time frame, but I always look at everything cumulative on the daily. So everything's still bullish here, but just be aware of the zone you're in, right? You're going to have resistance here from the previous all-time highs as well. If we look at some altcoins, Ethereum, you see triple tops play out all the time. We see this holding up the Russell right now, but here's a smaller time frame version on the daily of a triple top. You have it on Ethereum. Top 1 failed to break out. Top 2 failed to break above top 1 substantially, sold back off. Top 3, then you get the deeper sell off. When do you normally break through? Top 4, okay? So patterns are patterns because they have a history of playing out, right? So more than likely, if you can keep the momentum up, you should be breaking out of this triple top pattern, which means you'd be taking out 48.68 here on Ethereum. So let's go ahead and do some range expansion on here as well. You're right at the 786, 47.12. Need to flip it. Need to flip 48.68. Then look at 52.64, 56.56 above you. If you flip those two levels, obviously key low to hold would be 4,100, as we've been saying for many, many weeks now, actually months. Hold above 4,100 is bullish. Break out above 4,800 is also very bullish for upside targets. So that's what you want to look at here on Ethereum. See if you can keep this uptrend going. Canary's not overbought. You got room to run. You just got a bullish cross of momentum. Very divergent on momentum, though. Look how tiny. See, when you're looking at momentum, just like any indicator, right? When you're looking at momentum, the histogram here on the SMO is showing the strength, the separation of the lines, right? So it's showing the strength of the move. Very strong move up, And so far, muted move up. It's a bullish cross, but not much of a wave yet. So it can correct. You can get more momentum, but just be aware of these things as you approach resistance, prior resistance. You want to see strong momentum to break through it to get to the upside. Don't have it yet. It could form, but just watch these key levels. Stay above 4,100, and you really need to break above that 47.12 to get above the 786 and hit these higher level targets here in Ethereum. We look at Solana, just below the 786 at 240. Solana formed more of a double top here, little double top, broke down. Now it's coming back up. So you want to watch for larger double tops if this is to get a little bit more bearish and break back down again, okay? And you want to look at that 240 up to that prior breakout at 253. So that's a danger zone, 240 to 253 on Solana. That's the area you want to flip right there. Got to flip that area. If you can flip that area, you have 270 and 292. So basically $270 and $300 above you if you can flip the area. We look at our indicators. You got some room to push up on the daily and the canary. You don't have a bullish cross of momentum yet. And again, it's just not a strong momentum move. So just watch these areas as you're sitting at resistance. Really important to try to hold and stay above 224, or else you could break down and revisit that 205 area again on Solana, which historically has been very important, right? You get these moves up. I mean, look, you had the exact same thing here. You had the move up, down, big move up, and then big breakdown. And now you have the move up, down, and you're stuck at resistance. So we want to see if we can break through resistance, move up to 270, and keep the momentum going. But you got to watch what's happening in the marketplace. There's a big grind at the end of the month. I know a lot of people in crypto don't necessarily track these events, but you have earnings in the stock market combined with Powell. Okay, will Powell cut rates? Will he give more momentum to the market move? Or is he going to be more hawkish? He's supposed to cut the rate. We don't know what he's going to say, and we don't know how the big earnings are going to come in for big tech. Historically in the cycle, Bitcoin peaked in 2021 in November. So it's always good to look at your proxies for Bitcoin. The Russell peaked within 72 days of Bitcoin in November 2021. NASDAQ 2 weeks after. So watch tech and watch small caps if you're trading Bitcoin, and obviously the altcoins are going to move with Bitcoin as well. So just watch these key levels. If we look at XRP, you have a clear range here, clean chart, right? You got a nice range here that you've held right at 272. Let's just call it 275. And then you had your peak up here at 366. You have a coil, right? This is what XRP has been doing forever as we've been reporting on it. You have lower highs, but you're holding the lows essentially. Lower high again, holding the lows, lower high again. Now at some point you want to see this reverse and start breaking some of these fractals to the upside. First one's going to be right here, $3.10. Next one's going to be $3.18, $3.19. Next one's going to be $3.38, and then ultimately $3.66. So as you get these coils and you find support, let's look at this in the indicator. RSI is in bullish, volume on the daily here, it's starting to pick up. You broke that median line. So this is good. I mean, you're getting a basing process, I guess you would say. Momentum's still a problem, right? Momentum's really weak, like you're seeing on a lot of assets. Very divergent from that peak up here. But overall, you have a basing process, a coil, and you would like to see that resolve to the upside. You want to hold 272. Important level to hold. If you lose 272, you're going to be coming back down in here into the 250, 225 range. So far, it's been many months now. It's August, right? So July, you made the top. You've been in this for many months. This coil, it's starting to try to find traction and break to the upside. So watch those levels on XRP. If we look at ADA, ADA's getting choppy here as well. You had your low, your breakout, you have your high, you have a higher low, a higher high. You had a higher low and now you made a lower high. So you have this trend channel here kind of forming this direction. So you want to watch this. Not all altcoins move exactly the same, obviously. But let's look at this on the daily and see what we got. So let's just denote a few key metrics here, right? So we have this high, $1.01. Lower high, 93. Let's find a base here. The lower base here, 68 cents. And then you tighten this up and broke down below it at 78 cents. So I would look at this from 78 cents to 93 cents. This is where the action's happening. You want to see if you can hold a reversal pattern. which is like a W, right? Some type of reversal to the upside. You need to break 93 to get above $1. This is your upward trend, because right now you have this downward trend, near-term downward trend. You have an overall uptrend, higher lows, right? Overall uptrend, near-term downtrend with your high, lower high, your low, lower low. So you have two different trends fighting each other. How this resolves, I just look at it like fractal corridors. You want to see this break above 93 to be able to come up to that dollar mark. And if you don't hold this 75-cent level, then you need to look at 68 cents. And then if you lost 68, you'd be looking at 51. That's not a near-term threat. Let's look at the indicators here. It's just how I view these different assets. You're bullish on the canary, not, it's nothing to write home about. It's a very weak move, barely bullish. Look at our volume. It's going to be very choppy because of the coil, as you can see. So again, volume's choppy, canary's bullish, momentum's going to be weak. You can tell just by looking at it. Again, you're just looking, you got divergence here from your peak down. You see this near-term downtrend. So you're trying to get a bullish cross here. And if you do, you want to see this continue to go up. Very, very small histogram bar there. Looking at that bullish cross. A lot of things are choppy. It's just the nature of the market right now. So just pay attention to what you guys are tracking. Watch your key levels. And yeah, check out my metals video. That's coming out next. Take care, everybody.